Holy delight in thee.
Right, welcome to another episode of Motivating Monday. Today I'll be discussing the verse Ephesians 2 verse 8, which reads, "For by grace you have been saved through faith, and that not of yourselves. It is a gift of God." And I find this verse to be quite encouraging to myself, because it is true. We are not saved by ourselves, and there's nothing we can really do to save ourselves. And that encourages me, because a lot of times I feel like I can't do enough, or there's nothing I can do to kind of like be righteous enough or to earn my salvation. And that kind of that that notion is kind of affirmed by this verse. You're not supposed to anyway. Obviously you try your best to live a Christian life, and to follow everything that God says, but you'll never be able to earn your own salvation. That's just not something that is designed by God. You can't earn your own salvation, and it's a gift from God. So we have to cherish that and work from there as a concept. I often think of this concept in terms of, or like I'm reminded of it when I think of, like, for example, different career choices or things that happen in life, where it's kind of like a cause and effect thing. So for example, if you were to choose some weird career, like let's say like music or art, then sometimes it may be more obvious of God's control over existence in such industries. You tend to be reminded every day that God really controls everything, and even if you no matter what you do, at the end of the day, God still dictates how life moves. So for example, for music, like let's say a music career, like you have to work really hard, of course, but on top of that, even if you work really hard, there are some people that just they still can't make it. You still have to be very lucky, and the Christian equivalent of luck is, of course, is God's will and God's blessing. So it really shows. I mean, this applies to everything, like in life, honestly. Like maybe in school or in a normal job, where you work hard and you see results, right? So you may think it's a direct correlation, where you work hard and you get stuff back. But you have to remember that the entire world economy and everything that contributes into every small thing that leads to you getting a paycheck every month is sustained by God. And that is really, like, none of your hard work actually deserves reward, in a sense. It's the same thing for the Christian life, I guess. It doesn't make sense for us to be able to earn our salvation. It's like if a serial murderer donated a bunch of money to charity and thinks he should be forgiven of his crime for that. It's not how it works. You have to, like, you just can't, like, we just can't atone for our sins on our own, and that's why we need Jesus' sacrifice. Well, this sounds like okay, you shouldn't stop trying to work. Like, for example, in Ecclesiastes 9 verse 10, the Bible commands us to work hard, whatever your hands find to do, something. Yeah, so it makes sense that working hard would be a good thing. But so that's not the issue here. The issue is the mindset that we can somehow deserve or earn, or through hard work get to heaven, which is not the case. We just aren't entitled to that right as human beings. So having so going back to the verse, Ephesians 2 verse 8, right? "For by grace you have been saved through faith, and not of yourselves. It's a gift of God." It's not. It's really. It's a combination of the two. I remember analogy Brother Vincent gave me before in teens class, I think. It's like you score. Let's say you have to get full marks on a test, but it's obviously, I mean, well, just assume it's not possible. And like you score, some students score 30, some students score 40, some score 70. But in the end, God is the one that tops it to 100 for us. I really like the analogy that Brother Vincent gave. It shows, it's like we just can't, but it's by God's grace that we are able to be saved. In John 14 verse 6, Jesus says, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me." And that's the answer. There's no other way. There's a solution. So as Christians, we have to work hard and do our very best in this life. But that's all there is to it. In the NKJV's Ecclesiastes 12:13, which is my favorite verse, it reads, "Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep His commandments, for this is man's all." Yeah, and the last line, "For this is man's all," I think it's only in the NKJV, which is a very powerful line, because this is the whole purpose of life for mankind. It's just to fear God and keep His commandments. There's no other meaning you could possibly find in this finite and aimless life, if it's not God. And I've heard of other extremes before where people care less about leading a Christian life. Yeah, I've actually heard this from. Okay, I forgot where, but you'll say there are people that care less about Christian life because just because of the concept that salvation can't be earned, and that's not the right attitude to have, because you still have to do all you can, and leading a Christian life will get you to heaven for sure, and everyone can do it. We can see that in 1 Corinthians 10:13, which reads, "No temptation has overtaken you except such as is common to man, but God is faithful, who will not allow you to be tempted beyond what you are able. But with the temptation will also make the way of escape, that you may be able to bear it." So, everyone is able to get to heaven by just following God's commands, and it's open to everyone. But even so, it's not by your own merit alone. It is God that grants salvation and God that gives the increase. So with that in mind, we can go out into the world and live good Christian lives, knowing that because of God's grace, we do actually have meaning in life. And it's actually insane because literally everyone else doesn't have meaning, and if they're just delusional if they think that life holds any meaning. And it's fine, I guess, to be deluded until death, but it's fine until they end up in hell, which is not really ideal and pleasant. So living a Christian life is pretty hard, and sometimes I will feel that it's never enough, but we have to remember that in the end, salvation is a gift from God, and we just have to try our best. So yeah, I tell you, everyone.
Holy and holy.